Hello and welcome to the Good Boys Gone Bland Haunted Holiday Hotel. We hope you enjoy the show.
Hello and welcome to Good Boys Gone Bland, Season 4, Episode 1. I am your host, Denali, the spectral phantom with a heart of gold.
Ooh, I want a cool nickname. I'm your co-host, Ryan, the Jackhammer.
I'm your host, Jace. And my penis fell off 2 days ago.
Was that a Frankenstein's monster?
Why would you say that?
I don't know. Or a zombie.
Why would you say that?
What? Thank you, Frankenstein's monster. Why? You didn't need to say that. Your name would have sufficed. I'm very sorry to hear about that about your member. Jackhammer, how's your penis?
You know,
Now that we're out in the open. Still attached?
Oh god. Is it still as a specter? Is it still fully functional? You know, I don't have blood flow because I don't have a heart moving.
You know, I've been around for a long time, and I don't feel fully comfortable talking about my sex life.
really? Because I do not get that vibe, honestly.
Yeah. I know the Victorian clothing make me look like I definitely have some orgies. Like I definitely get freaky, but everyone assumes that I'm a pretty, straight down the middle specter here. I'm sex, I'm cool. Like I'm sex positive, but I'm pretty normal. I'm pretty vanilla. You guys excited for the spooky season?
Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do these weird bits every week.
What's your costume? You look like a piece of construction equipment. Very niche.
Yeah, I kind of envisioned myself like the person doing the jackhammering, not like the piece of equipment itself.
I can't take it.
That's cool, man. Good for you. Again, I don't want to go there. You kids having fun this Halloween?
So much fun.
Do you guys have a favorite Halloween candy?
Yeah, Babe Ruth.
I knew you were gonna say something that like a 90-year-old would eat. It was Babe Ruth. I was like, that was like
I'm
my
like an 85-year-old Jewish man trapped in a.
No, hell yeah. Honestly, Babe Ruths are pretty good. Like underrated, I think. Jace, what's your favorite Halloween candy? Do you have one?
Yeah, I just strictly go to retirement homes and trick or treat for where there's mints.
Oh, hell yeah. Dude, senior citizen like hard candies fucking slap so hard.
Yeah, like those strawberries that have
yeah,
gooey stuff in them.
yeah, with the gooey stuff. I fuck with that. And also like the you guys know the caramels, the hard caramels. Those things slap pretty
hard. There's also like the cubes. Do you guys ever get like the cubes from old people?
No, I never get those.
Oh my god, those give you a whole cube sometimes.
What?
Damn, dude.
What color?
God, old people are so
Cube?
tight, dude.
Like a caramel cube, like literally a cube of caramel, not like in candy form, but just like a bunch of caramel.
You know what? I do know what you're talking about. I've had those. Yeah. You guys ever have like those Neapolitan like chews, like where it's like chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry, and it's like chewy?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's another slapperific old person
And the
candy.
flavored Tootsie Rolls.
Oh yeah.
Like
lime
Safeway
and
from like the bulk bins back in the day.
God damn, where do you even
I'm
find
always
those
happier
anymore?
with a chocolate plain Tootsie Roll
Yeah.
for me.
I like the flavored ones, man. They're kind of fun.
Yeah,
I guess,
I grew into them.
You can get chocolate everywhere else. Live on the edge. Eat a flavored Tootsie Roll.
Take a walk on the wild side. Yeah, I was there with you, Jace, but for a while. But then, it was a slippery slope. I was trying the long Tootsie Rolls and the ones that are like logs, and I'm like, oh, where am I gonna go next? And I started, trying all the other flavors and stuff.
It's kind of a bold move for the Tootsie Roll company to just be like, let's not change anything about this candy except the shape of it.
Honestly, the shape is so much better. Like, I love the long ones. You can pretend it's a cigar. It's very funny gag. The ones that are like a brick, you can pretend it's like brown teeth. Yeah, the rectangle ones, you can do like a funny teeth. Like, I have rotten teeth. That one's funny. You can build like a little house. Lots of funny stuff you can do with Tootsie Rolls. Anyways, this is our Halloween themed episode that we're doing this time around. When this comes out, this should be coming out pretty much like right after Halloween, if we time this correctly. We just came off of our State of the Podcast episode last week, and we decided on a new season. Jace, do you want to maybe tell our audience what went down?
Yeah, because we know most of you skipped that episode.
Yeah.
There are plenty of State of the Podcast listeners. Like, it's not a fucking movie.
Okay, things get crazy in the State of the Podcast. I love those. Those are like the funniest ones in my opinion.
Oh, I love our State of the Podcast. They're a bit of like a best kept secret on our show. If you guys don't listen to State of the Podcast, do yourself a favor and watch how the sausage is made. Sometimes
that's my metaphor. I say that all the time, and nobody ever.
I like it.
Yeah, guys, watch how the sausage is made.
Watch how it's made. Sometimes it's funny. So Jace, what did we decide on for season 4?
We didn't decide on shit.
Well, okay. Yes.
Well, the Wheel of Chaos, through our incredibly convoluted ranked choice voting system, spun us on to holiday horror.
That's right, baby. We got 10 holiday-themed horror movies that we are doing this season.
Or at the very minimum, horror movies that are set on holidays.
Right, yeah, and that's.
Otherwise, it would just be like 9 Halloween movies.
Well, honestly, I was like going through the list. I think we did it a little bit on the State of the Podcast. Like, how many horror movies take place during a holiday, or are holiday adjacent? And there's a lot. There's actually a fuckload, and some of them are absolutely wild, which makes me really excited for this season. We did decide on a room in the movie mansion that this would inhabit, or a theme. We were kind of thinking the haunted holiday hotel. Which I think sounds very good. I was thinking like, we got out of the movie mansion. We're trying to like kind of escape from this crazy Saw-like game where we get trapped in rooms. And we end up in a haunted hotel. And the hotel keeper is like, hey, you guys, you came in here without money, and now you gotta watch these movies from my personal collection, or I won't let you leave. That's what they do in hotels, right? They kind of imprison you until you have enough money.
Yeah.
Is this a timeshare? Is this holiday hotel of horrors a timeshare?
That's why we're here for 10 weeks.
Yeah, it's a 10-week presentation. That way you can get the free dinner.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I think the funny part is of us being trapped in a house for 3 consecutive times and then being like, enough, let's go on a vacation, and then getting trapped again is hilarious. But then also, it's going to be hard to come up with a meter for this because
yes,
horror movies have their own kind of meter and stereotypes, but then holiday movies have their own as well. So is it possible to put all those movies in one basket and say this is it, like, and we sift it and say this is what comes out every single time? I don't know. I think that's going to be really fun, and I think that's something we're going to find by maybe movie 5, 6, 7. Not necessarily this week.
Yeah, if you can grind up dicks, butts, and lips to get sausage, you can throw holiday and horror together.
Wow. That's where we're going with the metaphor.
Put that on a bumper sticker, Jace.
This season's a bunch of sausage. It's holiday horror sausage.
No, it's not.
It's not what the metaphor
is. It's not about sausages. We don't have to do sausages. I was thinking because I was thinking about the meter too. I think where I might fall, and we'll get into this, in our meter conversation, is, I think how maybe scary the movie is will be on the meter for me, and maybe how holiday themed it is. Like, how much does it adhere to a holiday theme? I think those are the 2 things.
Okay, so scary it does not necessarily have a place on my meter because there are some horror movies that are.
Oh,
not
Ryan
scary at
doesn't
all.
get scared. Ryan's
No, I
so
get
tough.
scared. I get scared. I like being scared.
Yeah,
That's the
from
fun
like
part.
tax fraud, man. You're like an adult who like doesn't believe in the scary faces and the scary ghosts.
Hard to get scared at a horror movie when you have to pause it every 3 seconds to analyze it technically.
I mean, that does help. But no, I get scared. That's the whole idea. That's why that's why I like doing this so much. But I think there are horror movies that are not scary that are better than most horror movies that are scary.
What's a movie that scared you like legitimately?
Okay, so
No judgment, because I get scared all the time.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
I think it definitely starts when I was a kid.
Right.
Like the first scary movie I ever watched was Signs.
Oh man.
It's not really a horror movie.
Oh, that's fucking terrifying though. It's a terror movie.
It's absolutely terrifying. It's like I wouldn't look at roofs for like years, and I wouldn't
Jesus.
watch scary movies for years. And then, I mean, once I got older, I just I really liked them. Denali, me and you watched Sinister.
Oh, I'm still fucked up to this day.
That movie is scary.
Yeah.
Hereditary was pretty scary. I gotta say, honestly, The Strangers, me and Jace watched together.
Oh, still fucked up to this day from that movie.
Yeah, I think being scared is a combination of factors. So, like, I can remember times I was really scared of movies, but that the movies themselves weren't necessarily the scariest movies I've seen. So, Paranormal Activity messed me up.
I think it was memed so much before I saw it that I wasn't scared.
Yeah, I watched it in theaters.
Okay, so there you go. Yeah, that's pretty good. I saw an article about the movie Sinister. You know, Jace, have you seen Sinister? Like where it's a Barghoul comes out of the movie and makes kids murder their parents. Pretty fucked up.
I haven't.
Good.
It's a good one. And that movie, I heard like it's a bullshit research study, but like they hooked up people to like heart monitors to like judge how scary a movie is, and I guess that one won out of a bunch of movies.
I honestly would say the same thing. That's probably the scariest. Like there's a couple single scenes in there that are just absolutely horrifying.
Yeah, that movie's great. I'm glad we're not gonna, since it's a holiday horror themed season, I don't think we're gonna watch anything that's scary.
No, it depends on your sensitivity though. So we need to talk about this a little bit because I'm upset at you for watching a trailer for this movie.
Dude, I've got to watch the trailer first, especially if it's a horror movie, to be like, okay, this is how scary it's going to be, Denali. This is how to prepare your mind. Because if I just jump into a movie without realizing it's scary, the first scare, I will fucking absolutely demolish my pants. Like I don't have no prep, dude. Like, so I need to know if it's funny or is it kind of like campy scary. If it's straight scary and I'm not expecting it, you know,
This is a really important thing with movies because this is, if it was a book, you could read a synopsis. But sometimes watching the trailer for a movie is like reading the full Spark Notes for a movie because whoever made the trailer was stupid.
Yeah,
especially movies made in the mid 2000s.
Oh, they'll just straight up show you who dies.
Movie.
Yeah, who's the murderer. Like this trailer was 3 minutes and it spoiled everything, and I was like, oh, I can deal with this.
Wow. Like
it's
like
always
what?
Yeah.
Is you have said this? I need to do it. Like, why do you need to do it? Because like for me, the whole reason I watch a scary movie is to have some sense of thrill, some sense of like something on the screen is going to try and elicit an emotional response out of me.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be perfectly fine afterwards. So like it's like getting on a roller coaster. Like I'm not gonna like stand in line for a roller coaster and Google like the POV of this.
I do that with roller coasters. So like the thrill you get from watching like a movie where you're like, oh, haha, that was funny and I'm good now. Like I get that thrill from like a toaster going off or like, you know, like a microwave, like it's done before I expected it to be. And so a horror movie is so many times higher than that for me that I need to prepare myself. Otherwise I'm going to make a pants mess and I don't want to have that.
Well, Okay, so let's say, can I say this at the outset? You picked the wrong movie to do that with.
Okay.
Sounds like he's gonna do it with all of them. No
I
matter
understand
what.
it. I'm gonna try and persuade him not to. Please trust me. If I was sending to watch you a scary movie, I would tell you that it's scary. Not all horror movies are scary. So like there are gonna be a couple like slashers that we watch that are not that scary.
Yeah.
But there's still a plot line that doesn't have anything to do with the scariness. So like watching the trailer is gonna ruin the plot line. It's not gonna ruin the scare.
I understand. Yeah. Well, I appreciate your opinion, and I'll definitely like escalate it, and I'll kind of let the right people know, and we'll kind of like talk it over. And we definitely appreciate your input on this matter. We'll definitely think hard about it. But I am gonna watch the trailer. Okay, well it depends. It depends. If it's a movie like we can talk about the next movie. But I will I'll take your advice into consideration, Ryan. But if it looks really, really spooky, I don't know, man.
But okay, I understand what you're saying. But like,
okay,
we'll warn you. We will warn you. You don't have to go to the internet for that.
If a toaster could have like a light buzz or like a light that goes on before it pops, that way I have like a 2-second warning that it's about to pop. That would be so tight, because a lot of times I'm gonna keep my eyes on it. That way it won't surprise me, but then it surprises me more because you're staring at it and all of a sudden it jumps at you.
Okay, well maybe this is going to be a great experiment, because I feel that once you learn the language of horror movies, it's very hard to get like actually scared.
Oh.
You learn the language, you learn the pacing of everything.
Yeah. It's like jazz,
Right, okay, but like the very few times that the pacing is broken, people like it immediately gets noticed in like pop culture or whatever. But like, I think that by maybe number 10, I think this might wear off a little bit.
Okay, so this is good exposure therapy.
It's not really even exposure therapy. I think you're just gonna learn.
Well, I hope so, Ryan, and maybe this will be good. This will be good for me. Briefly, guys, I do have something for us before we get into this movie review, if you don't mind. I mean, do you mind? If you don't mind, I think we should do something a little Halloween themed this time around. Ryan, you're a great storyteller. You've written a book. Your stories are famous on our show. And then Jace, you're a great voice actor. You do great voices on as DMing. And I figured this would be a good chance to kind of get into some Halloween scary stories. And so let me just fire this up real quick here. Okay. So who wants to go first?
I don't know what we're doing.
Okay. Jace, would you like to go first?
I'm in.
Jace is in. All right. Ryan, could I get an adjective?
Purple.
Purple.
Is that
okay.
Adjective?
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Give me another adjective, Ryan.
Crispy.
Jace, give me a number.
13.
13. Ooh, scary. The scariest number of all. Jace, give me a famous person. Quickly.
Elon Musk.
Okay. I want you to just fire these off. Okay. Ryan, quick. Noun that's plural.
Werewolves.
Ooh, werewolves. All right. Jace, a body part. Quickly.
Pinky.
Ryan, a noun.
Pumpkin.
Jace, a serial killer.
Whoa.
A name for a serial killer? Ted Bundy?
Body part, plural, Ryan.
Kneecaps.
Jace, an adjective.
Flimsy.
Ryan, adjective.
Wistful.
Oh. Jace, noun.
Venus.
Ryan, a number.
1100.
Jace, a noun.
A noun. Kermit the Frog.
Okay. Ryan, give me another number.
1.
All right. Jace, what's the best way to send this to you?
Probably Facebook.
All right. Jace, do you have it?
Yes.
Don't look at it yet. All right. So in your best scary story voice, just tell us this story. I want you to paint a picture and take this seriously.
Take it seriously.
Yeah. Your best crack.
Robert Forster was a purple man. He was always a crispy type of man. He never hurt anyone. Until 13 years ago. He was even the one who killed Elon Musk.
Shit.
He used different things to murder people with. Even werewolves.
Whoa.
He used werewolves?
He once even shoved a man's pinky into a pumpkin.
That's sick, fuck.
Seems not nearly as bad as werewolves.
He was inspired by Ted Bundy. He took souvenirs from his... he took souvenirs from his victims, such as kneecaps. He then was caught by a flimsy policeman because of the wistful smell coming from his Venus. He had over 1,100 bodies in his Kermit the Frog. He was sent. He was sent to prison for 1 lifetime. He only got 1 lifetime charge.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Dude, I'm sweating.
I'm hot.
TMJ is acting up.
He's just in his Kermit the Frog puppet. That doubles as a tent. Oh, Jesus Christ. Thank you, Jace.
Oh, wow.
I guess I imagine the Kermit the Frog being like a Macy's Thanksgiving parade float.
This model here doubles as cold storage in case you're a murderer. Wink, wink.
Don't go shoving any pinkies into pumpkins. All right. I'm gonna have Ryan do the next one, and let's do this quick. Jace, adjective, please.
I don't even know anymore. Lithe? It's lithe an adjective?
I've never heard that word before.
Just
supple.
Supple. Ryan, an adjective.
Frog-like.
Frog-like.
Ooh.
Kermit's on my mind.
Yeah.
Our adjective. I'll do this one. Stinky. All right.
Ooh.
Jace, a noun.
What are those big horses called? Wait, would that count?
Oh, from the Budweiser.
Clyde's.
Clyde?
Okay,
Is
no.
it Clyde's? Okay.
Yeah, it is that, but
Clydesdale.
Clydesdale horse.
is that a?
That's a noun. That's a thing. Ryan, another noun.
Popeye.
Popeye. Jace, verb ending in ed.
Snorted.
Oh wait. Okay, yeah, snorted. That's good. It's good. Ryan, a noun.
A DVD copy of the movie Jaws.
For me, a noun. But Ryan, Jace, a place.
Florence.
Ryan, a noun.
Denali's butt.
Denali's butt. Jason, adjective.
Opalescent.
Opalescent.
Pulling out the thesaurus over here.
Verb ending in ing. Fisting.
Oh, come on. You get
Ryan, a noun.
Ford 4x4.
Ford 4x4 pickup. Jace, verb ending in ed.
Pounced.
Pounced. Ryan, an adverb. Something that describes a verb.
This happened last time.
Blissfully.
Jace, noun plural.
It can be a name, right?
It's person, place, or thing, but it's plural.
So it can't be somebody's name with an like Rodrigo's would work if it was multiple Rodrigos. Shout out my homie Rodrigo in Mexico.
You're gonna do Rodrigos.
Yeah.
Rodrigos. Multiple of this, like Rodrigo clones or just Rodrigos?
People name Rodrigo, I assume.
Okay. Adjective, Ryan.
Oh boy. Weathered.
Weathered. Adjective, me. Slimy. Adjective, Jace.
Pristine.
Ryan, a female name.
Female name?
Yeah.
Priscilla.
Priscilla. It's a good creepy name. All right, Ryan, do you have a Facebook?
Yeah. I
You
guess.
might be able to just send it to him on Discord.
Oh, send it to Ryan. There we go. Did you get it, Ryan? Don't read it though. Don't read it.
Okay.
Just.
No. I got it in my mic.
Okay, wait. Let me go back. Okay, Ryan.
It's not that long.
In your best, creepy storyteller voice.
Okay, you ready?
Okay.
Is this a poem? The first phrase is like a poem.
Oh, it's based on Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven.
Oh, okay. I needed to know that. That's
Okay.
very helpful. Okay, you ready?
Yes, please.
Once upon a midnight supple, while I pondered frog-like and stinky over many a quaint and curious Clydesdale horse of forgotten Popeye, while I snorted, nearly napping, suddenly there came a DVD copy of the movie Jaws.
This guy's having a stroke.
As a butt gently rapping at my Florence door. "'Tis some Denali's butt," I muttered, tapping at my Florence door. "Only this and nothing more." Ah, distinctly, I remember it was in the opalescent December, and each separate fisting ember wrought its forward 4x4 pick up upon the floor. Eagerly I pounced the morrow. Blissfully I had sought to borrow from my Rodrigos surcease of sorrow. Sorrow for the weathered Lenore, for the slimy and pristine maiden whom the angels named Priscilla, nameless here forevermore.
Bravo, Ryan. Bravo. Bravo.
Holy shit.
That was weirdly beautiful.
Yeah, no,
And sounds like a guy
that were good.
it was Edgar Allan Poe just having a fucking mushroom trip and also having a stroke. DVD copy of Jaws. Very good. Well, those were good Halloween scary stories. Are you guys feeling like getting into this
Yeah, I
What's your
want to talk
movie?
about this because
yeah.
I want to talk about like horror movies in general, and I feel like it'll be more constrained if I have a specific movie to talk about.
Sure. So right, we'll start this off by like you said you've seen this movie a bunch of times, right? You watch it like every year.
Man. So not only was this movie straight to DVD, like it didn't go to theaters, but I own the Blu-ray.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm one of like the select few who have like seen the commentary.
Okay, tight. So Brian, how many times do you think you've seen this movie?
Probably like 7 or 8.
7 or 8. Okay, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good amount. Jace, is this your first time watching it?
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, me as well. This, of course, is a Halloween-themed movie. It's called Trick or Treat. Released in, Ryan, do you have? Wait, who has the synopsis? I think it's Jace, right?
I do.
I did.
Somehow.
I did one really recently. So
Yeah, I believe Jace has the synopsis. Jace, you want to just take it away?
Sure.
Yeah, tell us what this
Straight
movie's
into it.
about.
Okay,
We can
watched,
get in, you know?
Yeah, we watched the movie Trick or Treat. Really was a treat. So the movie is
Hey, non-biased review, Jason. Jesus Christ, can't be throwing out stuff like that.
Easy does it, man.
This movie is a
It's got a real
Halloween anthology-based horror that surrounds a small town in Ohio that has a large Halloween festival every year, and where things are a little wacky. We get about 4 major plot lines that follow the principal, a group of young women visiting the town, a group of children, and an old dude. They're probably more, but we were kind of just presented in non-linear time. Actually, I think kind of moving backwards. I think we start at the end and then we segment our way through
Bit of a
time.
Pulp Fiction, yeah.
Yeah. We get some history of the town. We see that the principal is a murderer. The murderer gets murdered. We're introduced to Samhain. How you say it?
Yeah.
In Gaelic, Samhain. And the cutest little murderer
Good job,
ever,
Jace.
Sam, who is probably my favorite. So Sam is the little devil incarnate, the spirit of Halloween, and he pretty much will just murder you if you do anything that's antithesis to Halloween thematic events. So if you blow out your jack-o'-lantern, you're gonna get stabbed. If you don't give a kid candy, you're gonna get stabbed. If you're not wearing a Halloween costume, stabbed.
All justified.
Yeah. If it's Halloween and you still have a, 2014, presidential election stand, a thing in your stabbed.
Oh yeah, stabbed. Wearing like a Joker costume, like the Heath Ledger's Joker, and it's like I'd probably stab for that.
Yeah, stab.
It's like seriously, like you're still doing that. Joaquin Phoenix Joker is also stabbed.
Yep, absolutely.
Any other stabs?
There are probably a lot.
I was gonna say Napoleon Dynamite, but I think that's come back around.
That's
I think it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, actually. Yeah, I'd probably unstabbed for that one.
Yeah. So.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I think we need to talk about the movie itself outside of the story, but anthological.
Anthropology.
No.
Dinosaur-based horror movie on Halloween. So
dinosaurs.
On the day when the veil between the living.
Anthro means like human.
I thought it was a store.
That would be like paleontology.
I thought they have the cool clothes that are on like 3 racks.
They rode dinosaurs. So
move past it.
The movie Ants.
Yeah, we've got basically a short story based Halloween treat here for us.
Yeah.
And let's get into it.
So this, like you said, it's an anthology. You got like 4 stories crammed into, one movie, and they kind of intertwine, right? Like it's kind of like it kind of jumps around, but then you see like an overall narrative. It was an interesting way of doing a movie like this. Like it really felt like you were, I think it was just a celebration of the holiday itself. I can't think of a better.
I mean, so the director Michael Dougherty is he's super into Halloween, and this was his brainchild. Like the director wrote it, and he came up with the Sam character and everything.
Yeah,
so, which is really cool. It's not like this is some studio movie where that's it. Go make a horror movie, and this guy's gonna write the script, and this guy's gonna direct. It's this guy. He was a director in Hollywood. He made like a couple of the X-Men movies. He made Superman Returns, and then he basically got a small budget to do this to this movie, and he did the whole thing. And that's what I really like, because I think something that's commendable and is something that you don't find every day, and it's leads itself to really weird ideas, like a anthology movie that's dedicated to the day of Halloween, and I love it.
Yeah, like hell yeah! Like it's something that they were able to take a risk on, or it's more of a creative risk when you have one guy making it or kind of doing a lot of the stuff.
Totally.
And for our audience members who might have not seen this movie, who is Sam in this movie? Oh yeah,
so Sam is a little kid he's the spirit of a child, essentially, because he's the spirit of Halloween, like incarnate. And he shows up, like Jace did mention this, but he shows up in each scene, like, and basically makes sure that the main characters are abiding by the rules of Halloween. And sometimes they aren't, therefore Sam's just a background character. but sometimes they're very, very much not, and therefore Sam gives them the old neck slit.
Yeah.
He kills them
Yes.
with a lollipop.
Very strange, malevolent force that is also kind of a homie. Like, if you were gonna hang
he's
out
a
with an
total
evil
homie.
spirit, it's
Yeah.
Sam.
Yeah, Sam. Did you notice Sam chilling at the bonfire?
He's just he was straight
He's
watching the
chilling at the
werewolf
quarry.
murder orgy. Yeah,
I feel
that
like
was pretty
that's
tight to Sam.
the one group that he shouldn't be allowed to fuck with no matter what, because they were quite literally monster beings.
Because they're all werewolves. Were they abiding by the rules? I guess they were dressing up in human costumes, and they didn't blow
Ooh.
out anything.
Well, they're humans.
Well, they're werewolves, Ryan. I mean, like, let's not have
No,
this
there's not-
conversation.
okay,
wait. Is a
Okay.
werewolf
They're not humans.
is a
They're
lycanthrope
abominations.
a human?
Yes,
Is a lichen a human?
I think it's basically just
It's a type of moss. So you're wrong. Well, we could probably break down the movie into pieces, like they probably did,
Yeah.
because kind of one of the first characters you see is Murder Principal, who I think
Yes.
probably my favorite. I think throughout this movie,
Yeah, Dylan Baker, he's amazing.
Most
That's,
satisfying.
Dr. Connors from the Spider-Man live action movies. He was a treat. I thought it was really it was pretty funny, like how they make you sympathize and root for the guy murdering a bunch of children. Because he's a fucking serial killer. Like, the first thing he does is poison this kid who's stealing candy.
Right. But then the thing is like the introduction to his victim is breaking the rule.
Right.
And this is before we know that there's Sam out there. So like there's a good chance that this kid would have got by Sam anyways, because Sam shows up at the principal's house right afterwards.
Yeah, he
true.
would have been. He was smashing
He was smashing
jack-o'-lanterns.
pumpkins and he was stealing candy.
Yeah, he would have gone
Smashing
God.
pumpkins.
So it's kind of an interesting thing is like Sam isn't the only one out there bestowing karma on people. And
Okay.
remember the principal says, "Oh, you forgot the most important rule. Always check your candy." And
He
it's like,
what? Okay, how many people with college engineering degrees or college chemical degrees are there out there
Yeah.
that could be like, well, let me check my candy bar for potassium cyanide and sucker
right.
sulfur.
In this instance, I think it's that make sure the wrappers aren't tampered with, and if they are, throw them away. Like when I was a kid,
Right.
I had to spread all my candy out on the living room floor and check to see if the wrappers were intact.
Yeah, I did the same thing too. That was kind of a big thing growing up in like the 2000s and the 90s was,
It's
your
huge.
candy has razor blades or drugs in it. And
Free drugs, baby.
Please.
yeah, that is so tight.
Please put drugs in my candy.
We put $6,000 worth of cocaine and marijuana in all these candies. We just gave it away. Isn't that
John,
great?
You gave away my Tootsie Rolls? Dude, I coated those in acid last night. What?
All those kids are going to be so enlightened in their environmental policy 20 years from now. Like those scenes where, like that murder principal, there's a reveal where he kind of drags the body to the backyard after he murders that kid. And then there's like a big, ditch full of all the kids he murdered, right? And there's a scene where like the neighbor is kind of peeking. He's like, hey, what's going on over there? And the kid's like squirming and he's like curb stomping it. And I found myself laughing and I'm like, why the fuck am I
was
laughing
funny.
at this?
Okay,
This
so
is
there's an
horrifying.
interesting. I can actually seriously answer that question.
Yeah.
I have the answer. The in-between scene where the principal is dragging the body into the house was originally on the cutting room floor.
Mhm.
And because the studio wanted to be more of a traditional like Halloween movie, and the director, this is in the commentary, the director fought to include that scene, the in-between scene, because it was kind of funny, and it told you that like the funny bodily humor, like
Right.
oh crap, this kid's fat, it's hard to drag, like
Yeah.
it was kind of comedic. It wasn't, that part wasn't scary, it was comedic, and so that was the first scene that let us laugh at what's happening on screen. And if that scene's missing, I think you're totally right. Like it would feel
totes.
weird. Like we wouldn't really laugh at the graveyard scene, but it's pretty funny. Like the way he's like we're kind of rooting for him not to get caught.
Yeah, it's like, LOL, isn't this so awkward? How like this child is like hard to carry? It's
and
like,
that's like, I think that's a brilliant point between like how close horror is to comedy. You just have to give them the okay, and they'll start laughing.
I think that's a good point. You know, it's like the tension is built up, and then having some kind of release valve is
the
kind of
same
satisfying.
exact. You can replace a guy getting stabbed with like a joke, and the reaction would be the same. Or you could.
And they did in this movie. Yeah.
Well, right. Yeah. Like you can take an audience, like you can record a movie theater audience of a horror movie and a comedy, and they sound very similar because people laugh when they're like, "Oh, I got scared." Oh, you know.
Yeah. I don't throw my popcorn and scream as much in comedies, but I get your point.
I throw it more.
I throw it even harder. And I scream that I shit myself.
Now, I'm and Jace also, like, did you find this movie scary?
Yeah, there were some scary parts.
Yeah, like I think afterward, you know, I don't think I'm like traumatized or scared from it, but I think in the moment, yeah, there was some spooky parts.
Like what parts?
I mean, Jace, feel free to jump in as well.
I think maybe the last part, you know, like the house scene.
They had really good tension.
House scene's pretty creepy.
The girl who carved a bunch of the jack-o'-lanterns and they took him down to the bus.
Oh, okay.
And, that was pretty creepy. Yeah.
So they mixed really well the kind of comedic air with the pushing through. It's kind of like a wave of comedy where these kids bring this girl who's kind of socially outcast from everybody else at the school. They take her to a location where the old guy killed a bunch of kids, and they trick her by dressing up as ghouls, and they chase her, and then she hits her head, and you're like, oh wow, okay, that was a scary scene. They were chasing her through. There were chains on them. You thought she was literally going to be eaten. You thought the other kids got eaten. You get presented with a little bit of humanity, like the one kid's like, okay, wow, that was fucked up.
Yeah,
like so you can feel relieved about it. And then all the kids from the bus that were killed 20 years ago show up and they actually murder
zombies.
everybody.
that was those kids were actually pretty creepy. That end scene where the old guy, it's revealed that he's the bus driver who killed all those kids. The origin story is pretty fucked up, by the way, where it's like,
so the costume design on those kids,
that was so good
from like the 60s or whatever that were killed was so good. And like, you're like, why are these costumes so scary? They're like unnecessarily scary. Well, when they come back as zombies halfway through the movie, you're like, oh, okay. And now I understand why they made the costume scary.
But that scene where the kids come back for him towards the end, that actually was chilling, I thought. When he opened the door and he heard a knock and he sees all those kids, I was like, oh man, that was good.
The payoffs in this movie are really nice.
Solid.
Whether or not it's a comedic, whether or not it's a scary, or whether or not it's like I get it. Like, they did a really good job of rewarding the viewer for paying attention.
Yeah. Definitely. It was like a jazz song. You know, they're like discordant, and then they hit the right chord at the end, and then it's like, oh.
With the principal,
it's like jazz.
I think in that scene, in that back and forth scene, which in the whole is just hilarious. Because he's dealing with this kid. I think as soon as he finishes that scene up and he pats like the last bit of dirt down and they change the view of the camera as he's coming back into the house, I think there are a lot of other trees planted in that backyard, insinuating that he's been doing this for a long time and that he's a really fucked up character.
Nice catch, man.
Yeah. That kind of brings up... That brings up my other question with this is like, how many fucking kids get murdered annually in this town and that just kind of go unnoticed?
You have to throw that out. I asked that question to myself in the first 10 minutes. I was like, they wake up on November 1st and like, fuck, how many people are missing?
Is it like The Purge where they're just like, any murders that happen in this day, just uninvestigated, it just happened. All right. Like,
I like to think that that's why the adults in the movie have such a great respect for the traditions of Halloween. It's because they know the hazards. It's a real hazard. Yeah, like they went through a few years where several of their friends died for, they kind of put the math together. They don't, see Sam or anything like that, but they know like every year kids die who are assholes. So you need to be respectful.
So
how tight
canonically,
is the fucking housing prices and the taxes there that they just don't move? Like, sorry, Jace.
canonically, Sam only visits one city in the world like each year.
Oh, okay.
So,
Is he like Santa, where he picks a different one?
So I was doing some reading
Not
in the
what Santa does.
We'll
Is
find
that
out.
why that your
We'll
parents
find out in
told
the
you you
season.
didn't get presents every year?
This is holiday horror.
Wait, so dude, like if he chooses like I'm gonna do New York City this year, so like everyone, that's like fucking
Well,
10
he doesn't-
million people he's gonna like.
He's not sprinting around from house to house killing everybody. Like he
Okay, just whatever he
people
sees.
he happens upon. He's kind of just like the neighborhood watch. Yeah.
What if
Yeah.
it's a really like Christian city that's like they don't celebrate it at all? Like, is he just gonna? Does
Probably
he
just move
purposely?
on.
Is he just like, it's just like too much? Like I can't like. But he's gonna punish the city that kind of follows it, like as opposed to people a city that doesn't. Like what?
I don't think that's the point. Like the point isn't that he's a supervillain. The
Okay.
point is that like
I think
it's
it's-
a
Like the shitty superheroes I make up. It's cause and effect.
Right.
Halloween has to be being celebrated, and it has to be being celebrated incorrectly.
yeah. Like
What
you're
if
not
we-
disrespecting Halloween by not celebrating.
Yes.
Okay, so it's whoever's disrespecting Halloween.
Ugh.
What if you convinced him that it was Halloween, like 6 months out of the year, and then also convinced him that certain people hate Halloween? Is he a good assassin?
What if Sam ends up one time in Halloween Town?
Oh, like the Disney movie Halloween Town?
Yeah, where it's Halloween every day.
Oh, she's gonna go ape shit, dude. He's not gonna have a day off.
Though they are generally respectful.
They might be
Yeah,
able to
they're-
handle him.
Yeah, they might be. He might just be chilling for a whole year. He'd be like,
He might live there.
Yeah,
He
That's
comes
that's
back
probably
being
where
like,
he's
"Hey
from.
Sam, how you doing?" He's like, "Stab
That's
me."
probably where he's from, you guys. And then on the actual Halloween, he kicks back to Earth.
Oh, that makes sense. Well, shit, like if there's an alien invasion, for example, could we just send him in like a space capsule to the alien planet where they definitely don't celebrate Halloween?
Well,
at all?
again, I think you have to celebrate it and choose
Okay.
to disrespect it.
Okay, fine. You introduce the concept of Halloween to the aliens. Obviously, they're not going to give a fuck. They don't have brains that work like ours. And then you send him after him.
But Sam might max out at like 4 or 5 killings a night because for part of the time he's sitting on a bench watching women take off their skin.
Okay, fine. That was a werewolf scene. That was seen in the movie.
That's in the movie. Yes.
Ryan's coach here. So how about then we clone Sam? You kind of like take some, because he has regenerative cells, because he's a pumpkin boy.
Oh, we
and
should
you
mention
can-
that too. Yeah, he's made of pumpkins.
He's made of pumpkins. That's revealed at the end. Spoilers.
Honestly, like I don't know what's scarier, the sack with the
Yeah.
eyes or
Oh.
the pumpkin face.
His fucking
So-
pumpkin face. That was scary.
The reason it's so scary, I think, is
Yeah.
because it's modeled after a fetus skull.
Oh, I did not
So-
know that.
It's like childlike but demented, and it gives us this kind of like icky feeling on like an innate level.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, because that reveal was pretty scary, because he's on top of the old guy, like trying to murder him, and the old guy pulls the sack off his head. And I was expecting to see like an actual kid, like an actual kid from the town.
Okay, I was wondering if that was ruined in the trailer for you.
No, that was not.
Okay,
Sorry, people listening. Now it is ruined.
I think it's not because it's
You should
like
still
you're gonna
see
look
it.
it up. Yeah.
Yeah, you should still see it. Like, and so he's an actual pumpkin. He gets shot like a bunch of times with like a freaking double barrel shotgun.
And pumpkin guts come out.
Yeah, pumpkin shit
Get it?
comes out.
Pumpkin
Yeah.
guts. It's awesome. That's like such a great like physical joke.
And then he comes back. Like the pumpkin heals itself because it's pumpkin, man. You can't kill a
Evil
pumpkin.
Dead, The Thing style, you know.
Pumpkins are unkillable.
They last so long. If you like buy a
you
pumpkin
don't
around
cut 'em-
Halloween and they're just on your table,
They're straight chilling.
And it's like when you look at one thing for so long that it just disappears in your vision, and all of a sudden it's the middle of summer next year, and you've got a
Yeah,
pumpkin
like-
on your table. You're like, oh
Like,
shit!
oh, what the fuck?
Where'd that come from?
There's a whole city in here.
It's got a pumpkin.
Ryan, you have a pumpkin behind you. Don't look. Don't look.
Guys,
Okay.
that's been there for every single episode we've ever recorded.
Is that a real pumpkin?
No.
Okay, well. One thing about the costumes in this movie, I noticed like they're all really great, classic handmade costumes. There's no like superheroes like IP. There's no Captain Americas.
There's
no
Bo Peep
like
and Red Riding Hood.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that's kind of a fucking cop out.
I mean, those are public domain, but
those there's no like there's no cheap costumes like that you buy at Walmart. Like they're all
idea, right? Like we had like the main. I mean, we didn't mention the robot and the guy in the opening scene. I don't want to spoil that too much because if someone watches the movie, that's the first scene. It's so good, but like that scene's pretty scary. There's a couple jump scares that are pretty good.
That scene, they did the kind of bait and switch a little bit with like the scarecrow. Thought someone was going to be in that from the angle, and they got me. I got. So this movie subverts stuff in that way. Yeah,
right, totally. And things pop up if you really, really, really pay attention. They pop up like the robot and Buck Rogers are like walking around in the background of every other scene.
Mm-hmm.
They're seen in the background.
I thought that was cool.
And then my favorite part, I think like seriously one of my favorite details is that in the opening, so the woman is going down, taking down her Halloween decorations, and she's pulling the sheets off of these kind of scarecrows. And that's what prevents the jump scares. It's like, is there going to be a monster under the sheet? That's what it is. And then the guy goes back out, and unless you're like thinking about the scene, you don't really realize that Sam must have went around and put all the sheets back on the scarecrows.
Oh, because the sheets are back on.
The sheets are back on.
Could that just be a continuity error?
The guy, no, because then the guy is like what? Like I thought she was out here taking things down. And
you're right. Okay, yep.
Yeah.
The reveal. Okay, you're right, Ryan. Shit, that is pretty good. So there are a lot of good details in here. I mean, this is definitely like a movie where it's like, the director saw a bunch of horror movies and he's aware of the tropes and they wanted to kind of deconstruct it. It's kind of like a deconstructed sandwich of Halloween horror.
It's like the Scream of Halloween movies. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it definitely married kind of moments of like laughter and moments of terror. I loved the tiebacks, man. Like Jace mentioned earlier, the murder principle, how he's like revealed to be like the vampire murderer that shows up later.
Yeah.
And then he gets murdered by the werewolves. And there's like it's all this stuff intertwining in the movie. And that part was just really fun just to see unfold.
It was the way that they showed his character through the beginning of the movie and then him getting thrown off a cliff and having his leg broken and the actor like portraying real fear in that moment was probably the ultimate payoff leading up into that like how'd she fucking throw him off of that? And then in there it's like, oh, she didn't want to be in that costume because she's a fucking werewolf.
Yeah. Like, and then going back and being like, that's why she's wearing Red Riding Hood. Mm-hmm. Like, on the second watch, you guys will catch it.
Oh, I didn't even make that connection.
Guys, that's why this movie is amazing. It's the second watch. Not the first watch, but the second watch. Okay, when they're putting their costumes on, they're literally telling you what they're going to go be doing. They're basically saying, we are werewolves. We're going to go take people into the woods and eat them. And it's all a trick. And you'll find out later, but we're being real coy about it. Like, they basically say that into the camera. And you guys are like, ha ha, girls, ha ha, ha. And there's one, like, my favorite phrase in the whole thing is that when the Red Riding Hood doesn't want to come out of the dressing room.
Yeah.
And the other girls say, we'll huff, we'll puff.
And
shit.
It's just like really, really clever writing.
That's awesome.
I do appreciate a script where it's obvious that they thought about the beginning of the script when they knew what was going to happen at the end of it. And they weren't just like, we're going to shoot this movie and then we'll see what happens. And because they storyboarded it, like every single shot in this movie before it was done, before they started shooting it. It was planned out. And that's something that I absolutely love.
Yeah. That werewolf reveal, because there's what's her name, Anna Paquin. She's like Rogue in X-Men. A bunch of
Keen, maybe,
yeah. She's in a lot of movies. Like her character in this was just like she's kind of the nerdy character. With like they're all going out into a party, and that caught me so off guard. That reveal that they're werewolves, because at first Yeah, completely. I didn't see it coming at
That's
all. 'Cause
awesome.
At first, I thought she was like a human who's gonna be a victim from this vampire killer, right? And then once it's revealed that they're all part of this like coven, I was like, oh shit, they're witches. Oh man, that's so crazy. And then like you see her teeth. Yeah, but when I saw the teeth, I was like, oh fuck, they're vampires. Yo, this is sick. And then I saw a werewolf come out of the person's skin, and then I was like, I got tricked 4 times in like 30 seconds.
So cool.
So I was like,
And how awesome was the transformation itself? Like how unique was
sick.
that? It's
It was
like
a
the
bit-
most gruesome thing most gruesome type of transformation I've ever seen.
literally ripping skin off. It was kind of like Van Helsing. You guys ever see the 2004 Van Helsing? Totally underrated. Fucking love that movie. It's not good, but it's awesome. And Hugh Jackman rips his skin off to become, that's where. But this was way more gruesome. Like juice was coming off and shit, and like the werewolves were wet. Like, yeah, that was awesome. And then they just rip apart all the dudes.
Yeah, pretty cool. And the guy in the baby costume was a funny gag.
When I saw the baby costume, I was like, I am totally on board. They're like, oh, we have a guy for you. And she's like, oh, is he young and cute? And she like looks at this guy in a baby costume passed out. She's like, yeah. Like that was great. Cool. Well, do you guys have any other things you want to mention about the movie, or do we want to move into
I want to throw a shout out to the hot dog guy.
Which one was the hot dog guy? Oh, in the hot dog costume.
Yeah.
Where was he
What was he-
at?
I
You guys
remember.
Remember when the kids go trick or treating and they show
Yeah.
up to the woman's house and she's super drunk and they have an adult dance party
we
going.
skirted this so far. We were talking about furries earlier today. We were right on the hairy edge of it. There was a lot of people dressed up in animal costumes boinking each other in that house.
Yeah, and there was a hot dog like grinding on a bunny or something. Did you guys notice the hot dog was at the werewolf party?
Oh, he was.
No.
He was a victim. There's a discarded bloody hot dog costume like
Oh, shit.
next to one of the victims.
Is that like a fantasy where it's like you have a furry fetish and you're mauled to death by sexy furries? Is that like
So I think that's
is he
the whole,
going into
I think that's the appeal from like day one. That's the whole thing.
furry Valhalla? Or he's gonna be dining in the halls. They drink from the cups of upturned furry helmets. This would be good for a rewatch because I think there was just so many gags in there. There was enough callbacks for me to be like, oh shit, that was the guy from earlier. Like, oh shit, that was the character from that scene. And I think this will reward multiple watches, and even just having things like quote unquote spoiled in that way, I think it's still worth watching just for the experience and just to appreciate how fun this movie is.
Totally.
It's like going down a water slide you've gone before. The first time was crazy, but then you're like, oh, here comes the big bump. Oh shit.
So I picked up on this something this time that I hadn't picked up on before. You guys, I think I must have mentioned this. Do you guys know what a Chekhov's gun is?
Oh yeah, we've talked about this on the show on our paycheck episode.
Oh, okay. So the idea is that it's a plot device, essentially like a storytelling device, where the old saying is that in the first act, if you see a gun above the fireplace, by the last act, it has to go off.
Mhm.
And there's a literal Chekhov's gun in this movie because in the first act with the principal, the neighbor, Creed, says, I've got a shotgun over my fireplace.
And an NRA card in my
that's
pocket.
Yeah, and then in the last act, he's using the shotgun. And I just like details like that are just amazing. I love how I can pick up on something like that. That's why I rewatch the movie all the time, is because there's always something fun to find. Like I can ignore the things I've already found and just like start looking in the background or listening to like characters who aren't the main character on screen. I can hear them talking, like the shotgun part, and it's really fun.
That aspect of seeing different angles of the same scene was great. Because the guy says that at a fence, and you're seeing one side of the fence at first, where it's the serial killer dad, comically hiding bodies, and then like later, you see the other side with the guy holding the shotgun, and you realize he's being stalked by Sam, and there's a whole situation going on. You have no idea.
And that's why he's scared. That's why he's an asshole. Is because he thinks it's the neighbor's son, like pranking him while all this is going on. And he's like, I really need your son to stop doing that. But only way he can get that emotion across is by cursing at the neighbor.
Yeah. Did you guys pick up on, and Ryan, you might have already too, but like a kind of like there's kind of a Scrooge reference towards the end, where I feel like Sam is almost like Ghost of Christmas Future or Ghost of Halloween Future, where he just shows you all this fucked up, scares the piss out of you, and you learn to love the holiday. And at the end, he's wearing like a Scrooge bandage around his jaw, and like he's all fucked up in multiple stab wounds. He's like handing out candy and following the rules. Until he's brutally ripped apart by the zombie kids. But that's a different issue. It wasn't because he wasn't celebrating. In Sam's book, he was clean, but you know, there's multiple types of law justice going on in this town.
Yeah, the classic Scrooge trope, I think, for a character, maybe not even trope, but like the device to use someone whose opinion of something, in this case a holiday, but opinion of something is changed by seeing it from a different perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Would you say the zombie kids are ghosts of Halloween past because it's come back to haunt him?
Nice, yeah.
Mm.
Then who is ghosts of Halloween present?
I think Sam honestly would be a really nice present.
Sam is present? Okay. Because I was thinking he has a bag over his head, and the future one was scary too. Is there a future one? Is it the werewolves? I don't know.
I think they're just rolling through town.
They're the only ones who get away scot-free, honestly.
They're coming in, hanging out, murdering some people, and booking it.
Yeah, what is their deal? They seem like pretty normal. Like, do they like go to college and have friends? I would have been fine
being at that party for the first 90% of it.
I know. I was like, the funniest part is like, I know that Jace would be got by a werewolf, and werewolves were real.
Hey,
and like this.
Might be too lazy.
Easy money.
Hey, do you want to come out to this party in the woods? No, fuck you. It's beer at the bar.
This was 2007. It's a different time.
Yeah, no TikTok. People couldn't have videos be like, "Hey, man, what's oh god, look what's
it's a werewolf. Get real.
Go live on Instagram, quick."
I'm gonna live stream myself being ripped apart by werewolves. Well, guys, do we want to get into our meters? Are you guys feeling that? You want to talk about what our meters are?
That's what we need to discuss first.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Jace, you made a pretty sick graphic you showed us of the haunted Halloween hotel or haunted holiday hotel.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do like floors, like 10 floors out of 10, because you kind of had like a numbering of up to 10 floors.
That is true. So we'll have to we'll have to share this later. It's a 10-floor hotel. Denali, thanks for that idea, because I just put like a shit ton on it.
Oh yeah, that was Amber's idea, by the way. I did not steal that. That was all her, and this is what I pay her for.
And I had drawn a zombie with a Santa hat on when I was thinking about holiday horror to begin with. So we've got this hotel with a ghost at floor 2, just a spooky, fun little ghost. Kind of Jason's mask coated in flames, about 4 or 5.
Jason goes to hell.
A murderous turkey with a big ass knife at the middle levels, and then the zombie, up at the top with GBGBs.
It got something for everyone.
All
of the holiday figures.
It's a sweet graphic, man.
Yeah, I loved it. We'll throw it up on our IG and Twitter for you guys to look at as well. And you guys can of course see that on our YouTube as well.
I don't have anything to do with. I'll just throw it out there now before we get into this season holiday horror. I really do want to make sure we get one movie out of like the major holidays, and there are some movie, like definitely Christmas. There's a good New Year's movie. There's some Valentine's movies. We will see some more Halloween. And I was thinking that a great name for this would be the Ho-Oh-Ah-Meter.
The Ho-Oh-Ah-Meter?
Yeah, so it's like, Ryan had said like ho ho ho, like holiday horror hotel, but you've got Christmas, you've got kind of the 3 stages of being like scared / holiday, like ho 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 ho, like oh, and then like ah!
The Ho-Oh-Ah-Meter. The
Ho-Oh-Ah. Or we just. Okay, that's a hard sell, Jace. I will say that.
It's difficult to say.
Though we are not strangers to complicated ideas.
The Ho-Oh-Ah-Meter.
It doesn't have to be a long ah. It can be Ho-Oh-Ah-Meter.
Ho-Ho-Ho-Meter.
Ho-Ho.
Shit. Okay,
Now we gotta
stick away from
that.
Ho-Ho-Ho. We can do this. We can do the
What about
Barometer. Damn it,
visiting
this
your
is something-
estranged aunt at Thanksgiving meter.
we can do the holiday meter. We can do the spooky meter. I'm fine with spooky meter because this is all like horror themed. We can do the scarometer. We can do the hauntometer.
Yeah, Hauntometer's not bad. I want to get away from like the idea of these movies being scary.
Okay. We can
See,
do
Ryan, the word horror, the definition from the Oxford language is an intense feeling of fear, shock, or disgust.
Right.
Being similar to fright, alarm, panic, terror, and fear. So, I think
I'm
two
not
of us are
saying
going
that
to be
the-
scared this whole time.
Okay.
I'm not saying the word doesn't
Movie
mean
scared
that,
the shit out of
but the genre of movie is not like it's not
Okay.
the same as being a scary movie. Like scary movies are a subset of horror movies. I feel like.
Well, why don't we just make this meter just how holiday it is, like the holiday
Yeah,
meter?
how holiday-y.
Because that's our theme. So let's just say how well does it abide to our theme?
Holla meter.
I think a holodometer works where we can like, for example, we have a Christmas movie. Like, how Christmassy is it? Or like how New Year's Eve is this?
I think that would actually be fine because like how horror movie it is might be kind of redundant. They're all kind of horror movies.
Yeah, and I think that's an easy metric that we can measure.
They were all dog movies.
Well, right.
That
I think
meter
that's
was all
fine.
over the place.
I think that's a good corollary. Corollary? How do you even say that? Coronary?
Corona
Right.
Coronavirus.
or coronary.
That's a good coronary to the dog meter.
Are you fucking with me? Corollary.
Corollary artery.
That's a good
Coronary.
comparison to
The rock quarry.
That's a great canary.
to the dogometer because like I think that all these movies are going to have dogs in them. It's kind of like all these movies have to be holiday themed. That's fine with me.
Okay, are we fine measuring the holiday? Do you have a better?
Yeah.
I'm not going to
Spiritometer.
be primarily measuring the holiday.
How much like?
That was like the 50. It's like a 50-50 for me.
Okay, like first
I
of
think
all,
it could be
maybe,
different for us. I think we just need a snazzy name.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can have it like how holiday-y is the killer. What's the force of nature? Is it holiday
absolutely.
themed? Some of the deaths is it holiday themed? Is there a lot of scenes where they're like have decorations and shit and they're talking about it? Or is it just like a thing that's kind of in the background and has nothing to do with the movie?
Oh yeah, that would definitely be bringing it way down for me.
But something like this, for example, and I'm not gonna reveal my score. It's like a lot of Halloween shit, right? Like the villain is literally a pumpkin person, and they're stabbing people because they're not obeying the laws of this holiday.
That's like yeah, I know, right?
Like you can't get any more fucking holiday than that. Is there gonna be a New Year's monster who murders people if they don't shoot off fireworks, and they blow them away with fireworks?
Virus.
Or is it just like a slasher movie that takes place in New Year's and all it has is one fireworks scene? That's not very holiday.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you guys have any other idea? I mean, I think that sounds okay.
I think that's fine.
I don't have. Wait, we don't have a. What's the name?
You guys want to do holodometer? Holiday spiritometer?
Spiritometer. Spiritometer is almost like a double play.
Because it's kind of like
double
horror.
entendre.
Spiritometer. Yeah, that might be good.
You know what? We can always change it at episode 2 or 3, but I do like it for
we
now.
are-
I do
we're not
like it
attached
for
to this.
now.
Okay, cool. So then we're kind of decided. Then I'm fine. I'm cool with spiritometer, and then we'll go from there. I guess we can kind of elucidate as we go along. Well, Jace, since this season was your pick, do you want to lead us off? You want to set the tone for the season? Set the bar, if you will.
I thought you were going to be number 1 this season.
Do you want me to
You're
start
the
off?
only one who hasn't been number
Doesn't
one.
have to
first.
go
I could
first.
be-
Yeah.
I could do number one if you guys
yeah.
want. Okay, all right, fine. I'll start us off then. So for my spiritometer, our inaugural spiritometer, I already kind of revealed this earlier. This movie is very, very Halloween-y. I'm very glad we chose this movie just as our Halloween episode, because this is the biggest celebration of the holiday I think I've seen in film. Not only is it celebrating the holiday itself, but it's also celebrating the movies that have to do with this holiday. they're playing up all the tropes, and literally the killer is a fucking pumpkin man. He kills people because they don't follow Halloween. Everyone's talking about this holiday 24/7. Everything revolves around it. There is like not a moment where I'm like, oh, what holiday is this taking place in? There's fucking decorations everywhere, and it only takes place on Halloween night. So, dude, I'm gonna fucking give this a 10. Easy 10. If there is a movie that is more holiday themed than this, I don't want to see that movie, because I don't think I think it'd be insane. This is the most tastefully holiday themed movie you could be, and I loved it for it. So that's going to be easy 10. 10 floors on the Haunted Holiday Hotel.
Straight to the top. Penthouse
Straight
suite.
to the top, baby.
Yeah, Denali, I think I gotta agree with you. I think you're right in that it would be impossible for a horror movie to be more about a holiday than this, because like Halloween is already scary and therefore so easily imbued and everything. And like, what is Santa gonna murder kids who are bad? I think maybe then we're getting there, but
with a
I'm gonna have to go with a 10. There's not much other discussion. Like every single scene bleeds Halloween, and I just absolutely love it.
Hell yeah. It's called Trick or Treat, for fuck's
It's
sake.
literally called Trick or Treat.
I'm gonna give it a 10 too. I'm coming out of the gates with that. I do want to say that in further iterations, I want to develop my meter. And these are some of the things that I was talking about. So like holiday thematics, on point. This movie is saturated with Halloween to a perfect level. It's great. It's not, I think you could, in some cases, maybe you could overdo it. Like, I don't know, not in this movie. Another movie.
I don't know how you could do it more.
somewhere.
He kills people with a lollipop, like a fucking pumpkin.
I guess
Halloween
that's not what
candy.
I'm not in. I think you could do it poorly, maybe.
Right. Where it's like not fun. It's not tasteful.
Yeah. But like he took a bite out of the lollipop, and then they showed that it was a sharp edge, and you could tell the guy was gonna get the smoke with it. Scares, I thought, insofar as being holiday horror themed, I did get some good scenes where I had to reach over and I was squeezing Yuri's leg, and I was like, oh god, I know it's coming, I know it's gonna happen. So that may be in the movie meter. That's probably in the movie meter side of things. I put on here a note, monster / could I fuck him up? I think more so.
Why is this always in your meters?
I couldn't do it for the dogs. Because
okay, you still did it for the dogs. You kept talking about how you wanted to kick Clifford's ass. At least it's less. It's
less troublesome now.
Yeah, less troublesome with the monsters. What do you think, Jace? Do you think you can fuck him up?
See, I think the pretty tough situation. I think if I had a shotgun and I shot the thing twice, my next go-to move is throwing it in the fire.
Yeah.
But you don't know if because only the hand was moving, so he did a good thing with the double tap. But I think I'm gonna keep in my repertoire, no matter how panicked I am, that if there's an evil holiday spirit coming for me, I need to immobilize it and then burn it.
Yeah, I think that's good. I mean, it probably has the strength of a child too, because that 80-year-old man like really just threw that thing around without much issue.
It was climbing on walls. Yeah, it was kind of. They did that too, and you saw a child dragging the body, having to put obvious effort into.
It's not that
dragging,
strong,
like
Yeah.
And then the fourth one would have been would I fall into the trap? And I think
that's a good Jace. That's actually really clever.
And I think in this movie, besides the werewolves, which you're right, I think I'm holiday lawful enough to follow the rest of the rules. I'm not a pumpkin smasher. If I'm giving out candy bars, they're big bars, so we know Sam enjoys that. So I'm gonna have to play with this in the coming movies, but I'm gonna give Trick or Treat a 10 on the spiritometer.
I love it.
Hell yeah.
We're all hanging out top floor. View is great, boys.
It's a great movie.
Honestly,
for holiday horror.
Like I don't know if I would follow the pumpkin rule, because I'd probably blow out the candle before the night's over, because I don't want it to like burn my porch down. Like I don't think I would just leave an open flame out like that.
Pumpkins are pretty moist inside.
Yeah, but like just, if a gust of wind blew the pumpkin over and a fucking candle, lit my porch on fire, like I'm not gonna you know, if I think it's an urban legend, I'm
Your
not gonna
brain
like.
works so
Do you
differently.
like
than
long?
mine.
Do you like tall, skinny pumpkins that have like a really high
No.
moment of?
I like the short and fat ones or the really round boys.
Yeah, that's not getting pushed over by wind, but
Yeah, or someone knocks it over, or like a cat comes by and like knocks the candle over and burns the place down. Like, okay, if I heard about someone getting murdered because they blew a pumpkin, then fuck yeah, I'm leaving it up and taking my chances. But you know,
right,
I also wouldn't get
here. I would get murdered by the werewolves. You'd get killed by Sam because he blew the pumpkin out because you care about the livelihood of your home.
Well, maybe you wouldn't go out in the woods, you know, with a stranger. Maybe you would, but maybe if it sounded like a tight party, you know, maybe if I heard there was an Oculus Rift in the woods and they're all trying it, maybe I'd go. All right, 10s across the board. Oh shit, I guess it's me. So I'll give it my movie meter, my actual meter, my actual opinion about the movie. Well, Ryan, like we discussed, you know, normally, first of all, I actually do, I think in the moment, enjoy watching scary movies, especially with friends. You know, we've watched scary movies together, had a lot of fun doing that. And I think with this movie, especially because I watch a lot of scary movies by myself, because Amber is like me, who gets easily traumatized by movies. So I was going to watch this one by myself. I was like a little nervous going in, and I was like, oh shit, like, is this gonna be a fucking scary ass movie? I saw the front cover, saw the little boy with the pumpkin bag face, and I was like, oh Jesus Christ. But watching it was a pleasant surprise. I think within the first kill of the movie, I was like, oh, I'm probably gonna enjoy this. It was a fun deconstruction of the genre. Yeah, there was some spooky scenes, but it wasn't spooky in the sense of like, oh holy fuck, I'm not gonna sleep again. It was just kind of like, it was in a fun, tasteful way, and I think the movie was entertaining for that. I think the jokes were funny and hit. There was a lot of great gags, and I think I enjoyed the fact that whoever made this movie probably had fun making it, had fun writing it out, and the actors in it just kind of committed to their parts in a really fun way. You know, all the reveals, I think, caught me off guard. I think the only one I slightly saw coming was the bus driver one, but even then, it was just fun to watch unfold. So this movie's going to get an 8 for me. I found it to be a really, really great, enjoyable movie. I definitely recommend it. You know, not the movies I give 9s or 10s are like my life-changing, fucking amazing movie. So 8's really high. That's a good score. I'd recommend this movie. Great Halloween watch. I'd probably watch it again. Right?
Yeah, that's. I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
I forgot what order we're going.
No, me too.
That's. I mean, that's really surprising to know. I'm happy to hear that. I was predicting maybe a 6 or a 7 from you, honestly. But I'm very happy for that, and I don't disagree with your score. I think this season I'm going to definitely try to step away from the objective a little bit and try and get into subjective, because horror movies, like dog movies, sometimes can need a bit of a cap, because I think people just unfairly, I think, criticize them, and therefore they don't get a lot of the budget resources that other big movies get. And so I think that maybe they have to be creative, and they have to like cut corners in some places. And with that in mind, I think I'm going to give this movie a 9. There's not many movies I've seen this many times and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna rewatch it again next week.
Yeah,
it's this movie has a special place in my heart. Like, it's so joyful. It loves Halloween. Like, this movie is a movie about people who die on Halloween night, and it loves Halloween. Like, that is so cool. It's not a commentary on how bad Halloween is, or like some movies might be a commentary on how like consumerists Christmas is.
Yeah, it's not cynical,
like, right. Yeah, it's just like, yeah, you need to be good on Halloween because Halloween's a spooky day. I think that's great. Technical wise, I don't think it does many things wrong. Yes, it's not directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, so it's not like gonna be the most amazing spectacle you've ever seen. But it doesn't have the budget for that. I mean, they're just filming around in a neighborhood.
Yeah. And
this is what they came up with, and that's pretty amazing, I think. There are some things I want to point out that I find especially noticeable. And this is something I'll mention a little bit. I guess I'll just give a tiny spiel right now, so I have to do it every single week. But my main,
do it every single week.
My main way of analyzing whether or not a horror movie's scares are good is technically wise, like what we're looking at, not necessarily plot wise, but are in frame, out of frame, obscure reveal, and in focus, out of focus. And this movie did all of them. So in frame, out of frame is kind of your classic, someone jumps in from the side of the frame and kills somebody. And then obscure reveal is the classic, like you close a door and there's somebody standing behind the door. And then in focus, out of focus is usually there's somebody standing far away, but they're blurry and you can't tell what they are until the camera focus changes.
Oh, those ones always get me.
And this movie does all of those things, and it does them pretty cleanly. It does them every single scene. It does them, but it does them really cleanly to where you don't notice it. Like, for instance, the elevator coming back up with just Rhonda on it. Like, that is technically an obscure reveal. So, things like that I just really like. The killer principal with the knife.
Oh, yeah.
That's it, in frame, out of frame. Things like that. You don't notice it's doing it. And that's, I think, why I'm giving it a high score on the personal horror movie scale. Everything else is just delightful. My favorite detail in the entire movie is that when Sam shows up to get candy from people, I think once in the movie, he has a bag behind him that he's dragging down the stairs.
Yeah.
There's a cat in the bag.
Oh, right, because you hear it, right? It's like
every time it goes down the stairs, it goes.
Jesus Christ.
It's so funny. Like, the gags are just every second of this movie is just full of gags. Yeah.
That cat definitely knocked over Pumpkin. Yeah, nice. Okay.
I'm gonna give this movie a 9. I really like this movie. It rewards you for paying attention. It's visual, it's really great script, and it's just got a really awesome premise.
Hell yeah. I'd be concerned if you didn't give it like a 8 and above score if you watch it every year. Then I was like, oh yeah, this movie sucks. It's
well, there
3.
are movies that do that too.
I hate it.
Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th and stuff.
Nice, man. Well, Jace, what do you got for us?
Okay, guys, I watched this movie on a plane. So
Dude, I can't believe you did that. Yeah.
I knew there wasn't going to be time, so I tried to get out of it what I could, and I'm going to have to revisit it. Doesn't mean the score is low. One of my favorite parts about this movie was just the visual appeal, and it's something that I gave The Dark Tower points because the people who were working on it cared about in some of the scenes showing the worlds for what they were to make you feel like you were in a fantasy place, and like giving you a bit of depth. The movie, the sets, the costumes for Trick or Treat were all fantastic. I think like the only one that I didn't like was the werewolf reveal at the end. I thought the werewolf of all things was like the cheesiest, worst looking prop out of all of them. But the rest,
damn,
and that was like the one. That was the only time in the movie I thought like the rest of the time I'm like, oh wow, okay, holy shit.
So you didn't like the animatronic?
They're coming with it. It's just like the werewolf head, though specifically the werewolf head. It came up and it was like, and I was like, shit. I liked the payoffs of the movie. I like how they structured the story to make you feel for some of the characters, and then get that what's the German word for it? Like Schadenfreude? When you feel bad for some, or when you get a good feeling for somebody else's misfortune. The guy, the principal being the murderer, and then you see somebody dressed up as a vampire, you have no idea who it is, fighting somebody, and you think, is that a real vampire? It might be a real vampire, because we've seen some shit that could lead you to believe that it might be a real vampire in this town. And then the payoff, him getting thrown to the ground, the vampire teeth getting pulled out, and him being like, I'm sorry. So I think the story was great. Visually, really appealing. They did everything well. And I don't know if I should give it an 8 or a 9. And the fact that you both gave it either an 8 or a 9 really does put me in a rough spot, because I don't know if it's the 9 of the holiday horror films, and I was thinking about trying to give an actual singular ranking to each movie this season, and shifting if they need to be shifted, which makes me feel like I should give this movie a safe 8 with room at the top.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Because
I
the
think,
guy that directed this movie also made Krampus. And that might be
Oh.
fucking crazy.
Okay. Nice. I think an Airplane 8 is like a real life 10.
It might
But I feel
be.
like if you watch anything on an airplane, it's just so much worse.
I'm gonna throw it. Give it an 8.
Give it an 8, baby. That's a pretty good rating. We picked a pretty good one out here. I was worried that our season would all be dumpers, or at least fun
Which is
dumpers.
why I lobbied so hard for this movie, because it's like the perfect opener to show you guys, like, number one, horror movies can be fun, and number two,
Yeah.
holiday horror movies can be fun.
Yeah, hell yeah. And with that too, like, I'm fine with watching some real dumpers because I know we'll we'll have fun with it too. Regarding our next film that we watch, so I want to run something by you guys because throughout this 10 weeks we're going to be doing this this season, we're going to be hitting for sure, Halloween, which is this one, which is November 1st. We're definitely hitting Thanksgiving, we're hitting Christmas, and we're hitting New Year's, and we'll end on January 3rd. So those are ones we need to definitely hit. So Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. And I figured in between those, we can do other holidays.
So I've been thinking of like different holidays we could do, and movies that are not like shitty B movies from the 60s.
Yo, I am all for those too.
But like so far, like actual movies we could seriously do for these holidays, I have Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's Eve, Valentine's Day, 4th of July, and then Solstice for Midsummer.
Yeah, gotcha.
So I think that's 9 totals. Like I've doubled up. Like I think we should probably watch 2 Christmas movies and 2 Halloween movies, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I agree. Those are big ones.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you guys want to do another Halloween, do you want to do it this next one, or do you want to just space them out a little bit?
It doesn't matter to me.
I was gonna say we
Because-
should watch My Bloody Valentine from 1981.
That's a great movie.
Do you want to watch the original or the remake?
No, original.
The remake shitty is what I heard, because I think we
Yeah.
were.
Please watch
I'd
the
be-
original.
I'd be down if you guys we can revisit Halloween, maybe another episode that's not coinciding with a holiday on our release date, and then this next week we can do another one. Jace, I mean, you mentioned My Bloody Valentine, one of my favorite bands, and do you want to do a Valentine's one?
Yeah, let's do it. That's a good movie, guys. I think it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Denali, I will consider this the warning, meaning
Okay.
this is probably one of the ones that might get to you.
1981. Can something from the 80s scare me?
This is after The Thing and Alien and Halloween
Oh, piss.
and Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Friday the 13th and
Old Yeller.
maybe
Oh, piss in my shorts. Okay, well that's fine. All right, I'll watch the trailer for this one. And this
maybe
one,
just watch it in the daylight.
yeah, that's a given. So this one, My Bloody Valentine. What I know about this movie, and I actually heard like indirectly that this is what the band named their band off of. That's kind of like a rumor. This is like about a coal mine, like a ghost of a coal miner attacking
Right.
people on Valentine's Day. Is that kind of the
Yeah.
premise?
Oh, yeah, you're good.
Okay, sweet. Well, that was easy. That was an easy deliberation. It's weird not having like a Wheel of Chaos ceremony where
I
we
think it's
just
so much
kind of
better.
where we kind of like air our grievances and do like this really arcane like thing before we spin it.
Selection
but-
process.
Yeah, but cool. Looks like next week we're gonna be doing My Bloody Valentine. We hope you'll join us for this Valentine's holiday special for this holiday season. I love, Jace, that you pitched this during the holiday season. I didn't even like realize we were entering that. Like we were about to hit like 4 major holidays
Yeah.
with season 4. So I think the timing just works out great for this season. Thank you guys for joining us. Follow us on Twitter at GBGB Podcast. Follow us on Instagram. Keep up to date on all of our happenings. Review, subscribe, do all the things. Everyone who comes to your house for trick-or-treating, just tell about the podcast.
Yeah.
But wait,
Ooh.
this airs after Halloween. Shit.
No,
we
should
can,
air
we can
on
put
Halloween.
it out on Halloween because it's just Sunday, but this is
can do a
is
Sunday
an
drop.
explicit podcast for adults. They shouldn't be telling
Okay.
children about it.
Okay, yeah, you're right, Jason. So whisper to
Tell
the
the
parents.
kids to tell their parents.
Oh yeah, and be
I don't
like,
want
kids,
a bunch of kids
don't.
to be going up to their parents and be like, "They told me about the good boys. They're gone bad."
Yeah,
They'd
that's
be
not
like,
gonna be good.
Whoa, wait, what? What'd
Yeah,
you
we
tell
should
my
actually
kids?
distance.
You told them to check out Good Boys Gone Bad.
No, bland.
It's bland. Okay, then tell if we're gonna drop this, we can do a early Halloween drop.
Tell your ghost about us.
Tell your ghost about us. Ghosts will tell other ghosts and spread a ghost mouth.
Yeah,
they
and
love
they'll
podcasts.
tell the people they're haunting about us.
Oh, that's good. He's like, watch the podcast. Also, get out of this house.
Through the Ouija board, be like,
Check out CPG. Denali, are you just
Hashtag
moving our
symbol.
hands? Are you just moving our hands across the
Why
board?
is that so weird? I don't know what's going on.
Guys, weird. They told you to listen to my podcast. Is that weird? We hope you guys will join us. Guys, do you guys I'm still looking for a good sign off for our podcast or a sign off for this season.
I think that we're just going for it every week. I love it.
Do you guys have anything just to send our audience off with?
Ah!